The way you start your morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. Yet most people wake up and immediately grab their phones, scrolling through emails, news, and notifications before they've even taken their first breath outside of sleep. In those first few minutes of the day, your mind is fresh, open, and vulnerable, and what you feed it matters. Reaching for your phone first thing in the morning is like opening the floodgates to chaos. You hand over control of your mood, your focus, and your energy to whatever appears on that glowing screen. That's not self-care, that's self-sabotage. Instead, start with something pure. Start with water. It sounds simple, almost too simple to matter, but it matters more than you think. When you wake up, your body is dehydrated from hours of sleep. Your brain is running on less fuel. It sounds simple, Saul. Your brain is running on less fuel. Your brain is running on less. Your cells are craving hydration before they crave stimulation. By giving yourself a tall glass of water before anything else, you're making a quiet but powerful statement. I take care of my body before I take in the world. This one tiny act has ripple effects. Hydrating first thing helps your digestion, clears the mental fog, and gives you a gentle energy boost without caffeine. It's a physical reset, a message to every system in your body that you're ready to function at your best. And on a deeper level, it's also a psychological reset. You're choosing to begin your day in a state of calm control instead of reactive chaos. Picture two versions of yourself. In one version, you roll over, unlock your phone, and see a flood of bad news, unanswered messages, and other people's demands. Your heart rate spikes, your stress levels rise, and you've barely even gotten out of bed. In the other version, you open your eyes, stretch, and walk to the kitchen to pour yourself a cool glass of water. You drink slowly, feeling the freshness wake up your body. You're grounded, present, and you haven't given your attention away to anything outside yourself yet. Which version of you do you think will handle the rest of the day better? It's not about demonizing technology, it's about mastering the sequence. You can check your phone, but only after you've taken care of your physical needs first. That first glass of water becomes a symbolic guardrail, reminding you that you're in charge of how your day begins. It's a micro choice, but it plants the seed for a day where you're leading instead of reacting. If you want to turn this into an unshakable habit, make it easy. Keep a glass or bottle of water by your bed so it's the first thing you see. Put your one temper phone in another room while you sleep so you're not tempted. Train your mind to associate waking up with hydration instead of information overload. Over time, this will stop feeling like a health tip and start feeling like a natural part of who you are. Your time, focus, and emotional capacity are your most valuable resources, yet most people give them away too easily. We live in a world that constantly demands more from us. More work, more favors, more attention, more availability. And every time you say yes to something you don't truly want or need, you're saying no to yourself. You're saying no to your own rest, your own priorities, and your own growth. Learning to say no isn't just about refusing requests. It's about protecting your energy like it's gold, because it is. Many people struggle with the word no because they fear disappointing others or being seen as selfish. But the truth is, constantly saying yes out of guilt or obligation leads to burnout, resentment, and loss of self-respect. You can't pour from an empty cup. Every yes should be intentional, not automatic. When you protect your energy, you're not rejecting people, you're preserving the version of yourself that can show up fully when it truly matters. Think about how many times you've said yes and instantly regretted it. You might have agreed to help with a task you didn't have time for, attended an event you didn't want to be at, or accepted a responsibility that drained you. In each case, the short-term relief of avoiding conflict came at the cost of your long-term peace. Saying no may feel uncomfortable in the moment, but it's an investment in your well-being. The key is to reframe no as a positive act. It's not a rejection, it's a boundary. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They're lines that define where your priorities begin and end. When you say no to something misaligned with your values or energy, you're making space for what truly matters. That could be rest, personal projects, time with loved ones, or simply breathing room to think. There's also power in saying no to yourself. It means refusing to engage in habits, distractions, or temptations that drain you. Saying no to another hour of mindless scrolling. Saying no to the unhealthy food you don't actually want. Saying no to staying up late when your body is begging for sleep. Self-care isn't always adding things in. Sometimes it's subtracting what doesn't serve you. If no feels too blunt, remember it can be expressed with kindness and firmness at the same time. You can say, I appreciate you thinking of me, but I can't commit right now, or I'm focusing on other priorities at the moment. The delivery matters, but the message must be clear. At the end of the day, every no you give away from guilt is energy stolen from your future self. Every no you give from strength is an act of self-respect. The more you practice it, the more you'll realize that saying no is not closing a door, it's opening one for the life you actually want to live. In a world where so much of life happens indoors, behind screens and under artificial lights, it's easy to forget the simple power of sunlight. The human body was designed to rise and rest with the sun. Your internal clock, your circadian rhythm depends on light to function properly. Yet most people wake up in dark rooms, go to work in windowless spaces, and step outside only for brief moments. Over time, this disconnection from natural light can drain your mood, energy, and sense of presence without you even realizing it. Stepping into sunlight, even for just a few minutes, is a reminder that you, end a weekend of something bigger. The warmth on your skin, the brightness in your eyes, the way shadows shift across the ground, all of it calls you back into the present moment. Sunlight signals to your brain that it's time to be awake, alert, and alive. It boosts serotonin, the feel-good chemical that naturally elevates your mood, and it helps regulate melatonin so you can sleep better at night. This isn't just about physical health, it's about reconnecting with the world in its most natural state. When you step outside and feel the sun, you're reminded that life is happening right now, not later, not on a screen, but here, in the air you're breathing and the ground beneath your feet. Even on cloudy days, natural light is powerful enough to make a difference. It doesn't need to be perfect weather. The point is to engage with the day as it is. Think about how you feel when you've been indoors for too long. Your thoughts get heavier, your posture slumps, your motivation fades. Now think about how you feel after just 5 minutes of fresh air and sunlight. Your shoulders loosen, your breathing deepens, and your mind feels clearer. That's not coincidence, that's biology and mindfulness working together. Making sunlight part of your daily routine doesn't require big lifestyle changes. You can drink your morning coffee outside, take a short walk during lunch, or simply stand on your balcony or porch before you dive into the day's responsibilities. The goal isn't to make it complicated, it's to make it consistent. Those moments of light become anchors, grounding you no matter how chaotic your schedule gets. Sunlight can also become a mental cue. Let it remind you to slow down, breathe deeply, and notice the details around you. Let it remind you of your own resilience, how, like the sun, you rise each day, even after the darkest nights. The more you expose yourself to natural light, the more in tune you'll feel with your own rhythms, and the less you'll feel like life is something you're just enduring rather than experiencing. For too many people, movement has been tied to guilt, shame, or obligation. Exercise becomes something you have to do because you ate too much, because you want to look a certain way, or because you feel like you're not enough as you are. This mindset turns movement into a punishment, a form of repayment for living, instead of the celebration it's meant to be. When movement is fueled by self-criticism, it drains joy instead of building it. Your body was made to move. Not just in the gym, not just during a workout session, but in the natural, everyday ways that keep you feeling alive. Dancing in your kitchen, walking through your neighborhood, stretching in the morning sun, playing with your kids, or even cleaning your home with music blasting. These are all forms of movement that reconnect you with your body without the heaviness of judgment. The focus shifts from how you look to how you feel. When you move your body for joy, you stop chasing perfection and start chasing presence. Instead of counting calories or obsessing over the number on the scale, you begin to notice the way your lungs fill with air, the strength in your muscles, and the rhythm of your heartbeat. Movement becomes a way to connect with your body's abilities rather than criticize its appearance. This shift in mindset is powerful because it makes movement sustainable. Punishment-driven exercise often leads to burnout. You dread doing it, so you avoid it, and the cycle of guilt begins again. But when movement is something you look forward to, when it's playful, enjoyable, and aligned with your personality, it becomes a natural part of your life. You don't need to force yourself to do it because you genuinely want to. The beauty of joyful movement is that it's flexible. It doesn't have to look like anyone else. Routine. Some people find joy in running along a quiet trail, others in lifting weights with music pumping, and others in flowing through yoga poses. There's no right way, only the way that makes you feel alive. The key is listening to your body. Some days it will crave intensity, other days it will crave gentleness. Both are valid. By moving for joy, you also build a deeper sense of gratitude for what your body can do. You stop seeing it only for its appearance and start appreciating it as the vessel that carries you through life. Every step, stretch, and sway becomes an act of self-respect, not self-punishment. This is how movement transforms from a chore into a source of freedom, a reminder that your body exists not to be controlled, but to be experienced. The way you speak to yourself shapes the way you see yourself, and ultimately, the way you live your life. Every thought, every internal comment, every quiet self-judgment leaves a mark. Most people would never speak to someone they love with the same harshness they direct toward themselves, yet they accept this inner criticism as normal. Over time, those negative words become beliefs, and those beliefs become the lens through which you view the world. When you talk to yourself like someone you love, you begin to rewrite that script. You become aware of the tone you use in your thoughts. You notice when you're being unnecessarily hard on yourself, when you're labeling yourself as lazy, unworthy, or incapable. You interrupt those patterns and replace them with words that build you up instead of breaking you down. This is not about avoiding responsibility or pretending everything is perfect. It's about offering yourself the same compassion you'd give to a close friend. Think about it. If your best friend came to you after making a mistake, you wouldn't tell them they're a failure who will never succeed. You'd remind them of their strengths, encourage them to try again, and help them see the bigger picture. You deserve that same treatment from yourself. Self-love in language doesn't mean blind praise. It means truth spoken with kindness. It means holding yourself accountable without tearing yourself apart. Changing the way you speak to yourself starts with awareness. Pay attention to your inner dialogue throughout the day. Catch yourself in moments of self-criticism. Instead of saying, "I'm so stupid," shift to, "I made a mistake, but I can fix it." Instead of, "I'll never get this right," say, "I'm still learning, and that's okay." These small adjustments in language change the way your brain processes challenges. They create space for growth instead of fear. It's also powerful to intentionally add affirmations into your daily life. Not empty phrases, but specific reminders of your worth and capability. Tell yourself, "I am capable of handling this," or "I am allowed to take up space," or "I trust myself to make good decisions." Over time, your mind starts to believe what it hears most often. By talking to yourself like someone you love, you create a supportive inner environment where you feel safe to take risks, try new things, and recover from failure. You stop being your own worst enemy and start being your own strongest ally. The relationship you have with yourself becomes one of respect, encouragement, and patience. The kind of relationship that helps you face the world with confidence and resilience. In a culture that glorifies hustle, speed, and constant productivity, slowing down can feel almost unnatural. We are conditioned to believe that faster is always better, that the more we do and the quicker we do it, the more valuable we are. But the truth is, living at full speed all the time doesn't make life richer. It makes it blur. You can cross off every item on your to-do list and still feel empty if you never gave yourself a moment to breathe. Slowing down is not about doing less, it's about doing things with presence. When you rush through everything, you rob yourself of the depth of the experience. Meals become fuel stops instead of moments to enjoy. Conversations become check-ins instead of true connections. Days become a blur instead of memories. Life is happening now, in the small details, and you miss them when you're always racing toward the next thing. When you give yourself permission to slow down, you start to notice the richness of what's already here. You taste your food instead of inhaling it. You listen to someone's words instead of thinking about your response. You walk outside and actually notice the way the air feels on your skin, the colors in the sky, the sounds around you. These moments might seem small, but they're the very substance of life. Slowing down also allows your mind to rest. Constant urgency keeps your nervous system in overdrive, flooding your body with stress hormones. That kind of pressure might help in short bursts, but over time, it drains your focus, creativity, and health. When you move at a gentler pace, you give your brain space to think clearly and make better decisions. You allow inspiration to arrive instead of trying to force it. There's strength in resisting the pressure to match the world's speed, while others burn themselves out chasing everything. You can move intentionally, choosing what actually matters. This doesn't mean abandoning ambition, it means refusing to confuse busyness with progress. Some of the most meaningful steps forward in life happen in moments of stillness, reflection, and unhurried action. You can practice slowing down in simple ways. Eat one meal a day without your phone. Take a short walk without tracking your steps or checking your messages. Pause for a few deep breaths before answering an email. Drive a little slower and notice the view instead of racing from one destination to another. These small acts remind you that you control your pace. The world doesn't set it for you. Life will keep moving whether you sprint or stroll, but how you move through it determines how much of it you actually experience. The moments you savor become the memories you carry, and the memories you carry become the life you've lived.